Hit play. All right, guys. Today we're going to be looking at Adele Fornerino's game. So we basically broke it down, and it's kind of good. I'm using Tony because I use a lot on this stuff on him anyway. So her game is all about the knee shield. So we'll just get to the knee shield. Let me look at it and see what we got here. Yeah, let's just talk about the knee shield first. Yeah, so you're just knee shielding. Yeah, exactly, just here. We'll look at the grips a little bit later, but just as far as the knee shield, you know, for years I always did my knee shield like kind of high and, you know, kind of framing. And that way if you put pressure on me, I can kind of like tabletop him, support him. But Adele, you know, she's going to keep this angle down, okay? And we'll look at the grip that we use with it, but her game's all about the knee shield, okay? And if they start to pop up, she's not just going to let go of that. She'll keep her knee shield, and then she can connect for the Z guard. All right, so if he comes down, knee shield, you know, I can frame. He pops up, she can lock it, okay? But just realize that knee shield is like, it's like kind of like the center of her guard game, all right? And it's, if he moves up, Z guard, goes down, knee shield. Ooh. See, look at that, Tony. We already did like 1, 2. No, let's keep going. I'll cut it later.
What are you aiming at when you film?
I don't know. The dick. He's on Tony's dick over here.
Zoomed in at ×5. The small salt.
Reverse De La Riva?
Yep. She also plays a little bit of reverse De La Riva, you know, when the person comes up.
Am I starting this shield?
Yeah, just stay up like you are. Yeah, so she'll keep her Z guard, and if he starts to pressure in towards me, again, I still keep a little bit of knee pressure there. But one thing she does a lot is she uses like the Atos grip under the, come closer, Luke. Yeah, she'll use this Atos grip here, you know. And this works really great for elevating. I can get this cross lat post. And then, you know, she can go for the back or look for the legs. But so that's kind of like, if she feels like she needs to sweep, she'll use that a little bit. But knee shield all day and Z guard. See, Tony, I go through mine. Atos grip. You guys can see, roll everything down. All right, grips. Grips are important. You know, I've been doing this to Tony a lot, so this tricep grip. Yeah, and that's, I put it in the video. I was like, you know, I play it because it's annoying. Especially with like the rail drag. Before we would post here, but if he's able to clear this, you know, I'm gonna get screwed up. So if he goes back a little bit, let's move your weight back a little bit, Tony. Yeah, there. So instead of coming here, this feels natural, right? You kind of almost protect your face. But what Adele does, she comes to the tricep. Like we call this like a Lego hand or crab claw, and lock on to the tricep with the knee shield, all right? And I mean, there's a lot of things I could do, but it's just super annoying. I like to keep my elbow in close, but even if he tries to get the underhook, it's not very safe either. But you know, here, other side I'll block. Sometimes they'll pin my arm, but I can just keep pulling that down, all right? And if he tries to escape this arm, you see, it's hard to clear that. It's like super annoying. And even if he does come back in, yeah, I just come. He can frame off of me. In that case, I might switch to an underhook, but yeah, even if he frames off of me, I like to come to this 2-on-1. So it's just super annoying. So instead of me doing all this stuff, getting rail dragged, you know, I just come and just fight the tricep. Because the thing about your passing, a lot of it's like getting the underhook, get the crossface. But if I can block this underhook and then block his crossface, you know, it gives me a lot of openings, okay? So that's the tricep grip. The overhook grip, I'll be honest, I haven't been able to get it to work too much. I think today was kind of working. Yeah, so tricep grip. If he like starts to bring his weight down, just your shoulder. Okay, now I don't really have a good pull. So instead, what Adele will do, she'll start coming under, and then she can grab her own leg. She can even grab her own arm. All right. This is pretty powerful. Usually I'll try to off balance and stuff, maybe try to get this bottom leg out. We'll see that later.
Want my knee through?
Yeah. And we'll talk about it later, but this also lends itself for Adele's strongest attack. If you guys watch ADCC 2024, you probably know what I'm talking about. But just keeping this grip, that's something she's really good at, especially when they start pulling their arm out. That's something I can't do like she does, but like usually when they start pulling their arm out, she locks in. And you know, watch ADCC guys, you'll see what she does, okay? So that's tricep grip, overhook grip. We have another grip, over the back grip. It seems a little weird. Hey, come over here, Tony. It is hard to get angled properly.
Yeah.
It's all good though. Tricep grip, overhook grip. Again, that knee shield's always there, okay? Don't move that knee shield. Bottom leg, just keep their leg trapped. Don't just relax, where you can just slide through. Okay. There. If I feel like I'm not really able to make progress with these grips, the next grip we do is over the back. So I go over his back, behind his head, and lock into his lat on the other side, okay? And it feels kind of weird, but I think that's why it works. It just feels so weird. And I'm trying to pull him into my chest. It's almost like a mother's milk, but from reverse. All right, if he tries to move, it's just kind of weird. And again, I'm using that knee shield to block, okay? And she uses this a lot, but I mean, usually she'll use that to create space to come back or get back to the tricep grip, okay? But I wouldn't overlook that grip, because sometimes if we need the off balance, it's pretty strong as well. So we're moving, man, we're moving. The notes help. Over the back, collar tie. Yeah, just focus on his dick. Focus on his dick over, yeah.
Someone is.
Collar tie, she doesn't really play the collar tie from here, but we'll look at it later. The collar tie, usually whenever she's attacking, you're gonna see her using some collar tie. The next grip we're gonna look at is the double hand grip. So a lot of times, have you go back a little bit, like off of me. Like how she gets to her guard, she'll use like a double hand grip, controlling. And then she does this one move I call like a two-step. Seems kind of weird, but instead of just shooting, you know, most people shoot like shin to shin. You know, Tony will do the zoink.
Yoink.
The yoink.
The yoink.
He'll do that. You know, some people just shoot the reverse de la Hiva in. She can just shoot straight in and pull, reverse de la Hiva. She'll also do, it's kind of like a two-touch, kind of like a soccer move. So she'll go to the far leg, inside leg, okay? And that's really good if they're like really mobile. You know, say Tony's running around me, I'm having trouble. So a little two-touch, okay? Otherwise, she stays on a double hand grip here. I also consider this a double hand grip. Say she has one grip, but the other person's pinning her other arm, yeah. I consider this like a double arm grip too. So, you know, some of the girls will grab her, but that doesn't really stop her. She's still gonna work from the grip. You know, she can work the strip, and then she'll get right to her game. Okay. But those grips are important, guys. Oh, we're all popping. Look at me, Tony. I'm already going through my notes. Two touch. Close guard. All right, Adele, come here. Adele plays close guard. That's like, she'll play her Z guard and knee shield guard, but ultimately she's trying to get to the close guard, okay? And I have one here. Ooh, that's my move right there. Tricep grip. So off the tricep grip, yeah. You know, off the tricep grip, doesn't really matter where his arm is. You know, I could be controlling his arm or he has my arm pinned. So off of this grip, she's gonna try to escape her bottom leg. Maybe take a pit stop in like a keymaster guard, but then she's just looking to pull straight to close guard, okay? Pretty basic, but it's just, you gotta stay disciplined because usually they're gonna fight you. One thing that happens to me when I'm training, you know, I'm going with Tony, and maybe I had this. Usually, he might try to pummel his leg in. Usually you guys have it more closer though, right? When we're rolling.
Yeah.
Like you're here, you guys get your
you're
foot in.
saying,
Yeah.
Okay.
We get into this position, so I'll stay on the tricep because I know if he goes to sit back, you go to sit back, Tony. So that's kind of my addition, right? And then me and Tony get here and we fight. I can also do like a scissor sweep from there as well. So he goes to pummel. Even if he has this, I'll just pull and then push right into this position. Adele doesn't really do that. That's kind of my move. I added that. But she's going to get the closed guard, okay? Another move, I think she does a little bit, but I kind of do. I try to do a little bit more often. Is the elevation from the knee shield. And I could have him pinned or he has me. So in this case, instead of escaping my bottom leg through, because that works, but sometimes he'll bring this knee up and I can't get back to the closed guard. So instead, I'm here. I can hold the tricep grip. And what I do, I'm gonna pull him into my, have you come down a little bit? Pull him into my shin. Stay up, Tony, stay up, Tony, stay up, Tony. Come up, come back. Yeah. So I'll just try to elevate him onto the shin and then come through, okay? So it might work better off over the back grip. Let me see if that works better. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah, I think I get it from here. So over the back grip, pull him onto your shin and elevate right to close guard, okay?
It's almost like that Yoko Sumigichi.
Mm-hmm.
Where you hook him up on the leg.
So the one he's talking about is like, I guess maybe this is a cross when you guys go. And you have the hook.
Yeah, the hook there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It feels like that.
very similar.
Except your hook's on the outside.
Mm-hmm. So I'm here holding him tight. So again, you guys got to pull him onto you and you're kind of off balancing away. Clear, and then pull. Okay, close guard. I will say, no-gi, it's hard to get the close guard, man. Your legs are exposed, and there's a lot of things you can do. So that's one of the things you guys are gonna have to work at, okay? It ain't easy, man. See, look, I wrote everything down. Pummels their leg in. One thing with Adele, sometimes people will go, some girls would just go into her closed guard, so that, they're just like, let's come down. Whee! Okay, so you can kind of tell those matches didn't last very long. I guess they didn't do their research. You guys got to do your research if you're competing. See what their strengths are. I'm not saying, don't be afraid, but okay, Tony plays legs. Okay, let me hide my legs a little bit. Just simple game planning, guys, tactics. Close guard, breaking posture. A lot of this stuff is basic, breaking posture. So you're gonna see the collar tie used a lot.
Knee shield?
For close guard.
Close guard.
Yeah. Pummeling inside, collar tie. All the stuff you guys don't listen to in the beginner's class, foundational class, because he's going to be posturing up. If you let him posture and get his hands in a strong position, it's going to be hard. So a lot of times, we did the entry into close guard. He's kind of here, broken down. You got to keep them broken down. So when he goes to frame, start pummeling, moving your body. And then a lot of the same grips we used earlier, tricep grip, overhook grip, over the back grip. Okay, the same grip she uses in her knee shield guard, right? And you gotta fight here. You gotta fight here. Okay, if I let him posture up every time, people are good, especially a black belt. They're gonna get out of your closed guard. So you gotta fight to maintain your closed guard. We almost done, guys. Hand fight. So that pummeling, that's all hand fighting, guys. When Adele's fighting, even from closed guard or, even from the knee shield, her opponents are gripping and grabbing. She's got to fight. She's got to stay active. If I just let Tony dominate his grips and get his grips and, do whatever he wants, you're gonna lose, okay? So one of Adele's strengths is that she's always hand fighting, even if they pin her arm down, you know, she's gonna fight, And she'll cycle through her grips. I think that's kind of what limits a lot of people's guards here. Usually, I was rolling with Tiana and just like she was holding, Tiana's his wife, but she was holding, but like sometimes you need to switch to something else, okay? And you gotta be relaxed. I think that's, when you're tense, you're not gonna do that, but when you're relaxed and you're calm, you'll try to transition a little bit more. But yeah, you gotta hand fight. Try to get dominant positioning. Body triangle, I can't do this, but it's one of the things that Adele works really well from her closed guard, yeah. I can't do it, but you know, I'll put her in the video at that point. So one way she controls her opponents, you know, obviously hand fighting, controlling, but she'll lock her body triangle. And what that does, guys, it kind of locks into lower back. So I can't do it, but imagine I was able to lock his lower back in. It'll be hard for him to posture up. So if you try to posture up now, if I had his lower back locked, it's gonna be rough. And then the second thing with this is that she can use that to lock like the optimal angle for her submissions later on. So she's able to like move her hips out and then lock her body triangle. And they're just not able to do anything because she's already taken everything away from them. This move, I named it myself. I don't know if Adele has an instructional out. I didn't really see anything. I call it monkeys in a barrel. Can you guys see? You guys remember the toy with the monkey and the red monkey? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I named this myself. I'm taking credit for this. So I think it would be a great way. It's a great way to teach someone how to use closed guard. So from the closed guard, Adele goes collar tie. Other hand's gonna go underhook. Okay. She can play with the body triangle, but from here I just call this monkeys in a barrel. Okay. And then from here she's able to move her hips up. And she can lock her guard, but just notice I start getting that arm sectioned off, okay? From here, we have a few different options. Sometimes they start to pull their arm, and the arm's there, okay? So you can just go arm bar, here. One thing that happened a lot in her matches, the person would, I'll have you fall to this way, Tony.
This way?
Yeah. So she would end up in these positions and just using her core, she would just like come all the way up, like no hands on the floor. She would just pop up. So she's a strong girl, okay? That's one thing she would do. Another thing she can do, you know, say I still have this overhook kind of position. She can get here and lock in the overhook armbar too. Okay. So again, I just call that monkeys in a barrel. And that just teaches you to get your body angled, okay? So instead of me being square with Tony, every time I get the collar tie, it could be the other side or this side, go collar tie, other hand, opposite, get the leg, okay? And from here, you know, I'm already starting to work myself into the arm bar. Okay, of course I can sweep across too, you know. Yeah, that's like one of her more common attacks. And her armbar, that's her finish, guys. She's gonna armbar you. Overhook armbar. The next big move she's really great at, mirror lock. I think I got it one time, and I've been doing this for like 3 weeks. So her mirror lock, she actually has a mirror lock system. So a lot of times she'll do it from the overhook, from closed guard. And she'll do it from the body triangle a lot of times. So she'll have a body triangle, and then she moves to the hip. We'll look at the finish, but she just gets it from here. A few things with her finish. Some things I was doing wrong. So like Frank Mir, not wrong, but different. So Frank Mir, I think I use this analogy that it's like hitting a nail with the sledgehammer, you know, like rah, boom. But when Adele does her mirror lock, it's very precise, okay? So she can just do the mirror lock, but there's a few setups that she uses. So just for basics, the mirror lock is the overhook grip here. And instead of grabbing under, this is kind of how I kind of learned how to do it. She grabs over, almost like a guillotine grip, okay? From here, she's gonna go, if she had a body triangle locking this way, this foot goes on the hip, and then she goes, instead of going here, she goes up to her shoulder. Okay. So usually, I mean, sometimes she just gets it right from the start, but there's like 2 or 3 responses, okay? So usually people start to feel this, one response, they try to pull their arm out. But you can imagine, I lose this all the time, but Adele has an ability to stay on this arm somehow. So a lot of times when they start to pull, they actually make it stronger, and she gets like a better angle. Okay, that's option 1. Option 2, they feel this, so now they go to grab with this outside hand, or you're gonna grab your arm. Yeah. And I'll tell you, every time someone does this, she gets the mirror lock. Because that lets her know that she has it, okay? Same gripping. She goes up on her shoulder, which I'm not really good at. Yeah, and she gets it there, okay? So option 1, she gets it. Option 2, they grab for their own arm. You can grab one more time, Tony. Yeah, that means she's gonna get it from there, okay? And usually she just, yeah, she's able to get that bite again. Have you turned your, yeah, right there, it's already gone, okay? Option 3, usually they're a little bit smarter. They're gonna try to pummel this arm back under. Can you see? Go ahead, Tony. Yeah. They're gonna try to pummel back under. I'm gonna have you come behind me, Luke, for this one. So they try to come under, and then from here, Adele switches to arm drag. Okay.
Can you do that again?
Yeah. So yeah, they try to do that, so she switches. And it's almost like it's connected. Okay, so she goes right for the armpit, and then drag to the back, okay? So that's kind of the mirror lock system. Again, I'm not really good at it, so I'm gonna put the video of her doing it. It's amazing how she gets up on her shoulder. And man, when she gets it, man, you know, they gotta tap out.
She do the bent one too, or no?
Well, they almost don't make it that far.
Oh, it goes before.
Yeah, well, she gets here and then starts to hip in. It's usually already like,
Straight. Yeah.
yeah, it's already like gone. I think, let me do it. I think when they grab, they turn their own arm too.
I thought that was as a mirror lock.
So this is how Frank Mir does his guys.
Yeah.
But hers is more like based off the overhook.
It's like a straight.
So say you were to grab like you did earlier.
Yeah, now it's bent, yeah.
Yeah. I gotta let her do it, man. She's the queen of it, man. I can't copy that one. That's one move I just like.
Yeah.
I think I got one mirror lock kind of like you did.
Yeah.
But hers, I don't know. I think because she's so light, she's like on your arm, but it's like extended.
Okay.
Arm drag, we did that. So we can't talk about all this crazy armbar stuff without talking about the classical triangle setup. Yeah, just basic triangle, man. I don't know what to say. It works though. She can do the triangle from open guard, but closed guard probably more popular. Usually from overhook, maybe over the back. One thing Adele's really good at that I like is that, you know, when her opponents start pummeling in or whatever, she's always able to pummel back. You know, maybe by sitting up, repummeling. And instead of going straight for their arm, usually what she does, I really like that she kind of frames off the shoulder and then she starts moving down. I really like that. That was something I noticed, okay? And then from here, that shin comes in, guys. Shin. Usually she'll start pushing the arm away. You can try to do like old school, boom, that way. One thing I've been doing more lately is just pushing. Okay. And then once she gets her triangle, pretty tight, you know. I don't have the longest legs, so a lot of times I've been doing my TP choke, where I grab under my own legs and kind of squeezing. That's kind of what I do. You can try to do your traditional triangle setup, guys, if you have the legs for it. Control the head, pull down, and lock. You know, if you have good control, even against black belts, you know, you're controlling the posture, you start opening this, I mean, man, there's not much they can do. It's like they know what's happening, but those are the best submissions, just bread and butter, as the Brazilians say. You know, what did the Italians say? Pasta and what?
Yeah.
Pasta and what, Tony?
Pasta and gravy. Yeah.
Pasta and gravy, okay. Just very basic, guys. So we're here. Of course, he should be framing, but that kind of goes back to the hand fighting, right? So hand fighting before they get to like a dominant position. Now, this is gonna be tough. Like, I'm already prepared to like go back to my open guard, okay? So before they can create their posture, you know, over the back grip, collar tight control, overhook control, you know, you're hand fighting, creating space. I'm sorry about that.
You're good.
You know, once you get your leg in, sometimes I get stuck there, but then, like I said, push the arm towards their body, okay? Lock, and then your triangle, TP choke like I did, or traditional triangle. All right, you know, I should have probably done my bridge like in beginner's class, right? The stuff you guys don't want to do. But man, that's what works. And I'll show Adele triangling most of the black belt girls. One other thing she's really good at, man, sit-up guard. So because she plays closed guard, a lot of times the girls will sit back instead of standing up to get out. They'll posture back and put the weight on their hips. So sometimes the girls would just go back, usually because I think they were tired because they're always defending, they'll go back. And so Adele's really good at attaching herself to her opponent. So a lot of times she'll come here, like this double overhook grip, that works. Or sometimes she'll even have like a reverse seatbelt grip. I mean, I couldn't get this to work. Like she'll come here, and then because she's so small, she can like sit on them. All right, and then it's just like your sit-up guard sweep. You know, I would come across and sweep back. But she can do it like from that overhook, because the girls are so usually a little bit bigger, right? So when they go to sit back, she's like, here, really sit back, Tony. Yeah. She's able to like knock them back from here. All right. I give her a props, bro. I can't do that in my black belt divisions. But it still works, man. It's like very basic. And I think I talked more about it in my voiceover. But like she's kind of bridged like modern jiu-jitsu with the mixed modern jiu-jitsu with like the classical jiu-jitsu, okay? So this is all old school stuff. But I will say when they hit you with that,
You get that point where you're
oh shit, Jesus.
done.
It's kind of like the waiter sweep from closed guard. When you get hit with that, I don't know if you've ever been hit with that in a tournament, but it's like, fuck. He's like, oh, I'm about to get arm bar. That happened to me one time. Pretty embarrassing. Shoulder pinch. She will do a little bit of shoulder pinch. I think especially like this stuff's not working. She can't get that. So she will switch to the shoulder pinch a little bit too. Not super important part of her game. If they do get out of close guard, she's gonna go for De La Hiva. So, like I said, just come down, Tony. They say he postures up and stands up. Usually she's gonna hit this right side De La Hiva. And I mean, she has, you know, she could go for a matrix and stuff like that. But I think she feels more comfortable in that knee shield guard and Z guard. But if Adele has the game plan for when they get out, you guys also have to have a game plan, okay? And then she'll try to work her way back to the knee shield, right? Leg entanglements. So for having a classical game, so Adele arm bars and triangles, she actually has really good leg locks too. So there were a few matches of hers, like the Asian trials. Man, she finished in 20 seconds. So a lot of times that would happen from a double guard pull. So Adele has a really good guard, so people won't engage her guard, right? That doesn't make sense. So some people would come down into this position. So Adele has a really good Aoki lock. There's a few girls she finishes. So just to kind of go over the Aoki. Yeah, so she has a bite on the leg. She'll fight to get one of the legs. And, that outside leg comes in for a hook, okay? And what makes this pretty gnarly is that instead of going just for the ankle lock straight back, it's more like an angle. So instead of coming straight back, it's more like hitting the side while blocking the leg, okay? Yeah, so Aoki here. And you kind of want like a low grip. Some guys will get like I know Mikey does more like this rear naked choke grip. Some people do like reverse grip. And you're trying to get the angle on the side. Okay. Yeah, she's tapped a few girls out like that. Some of your 80cc girls. Just from this like leg pummel, some girls leave their legs out. Like some girls will go into the closed guard. Some girls leave their leg out. And man, she'll get right on there. In a few of the matches, she would finish like going inside. So she'll get in like these positions. And you see the girl just like, ah. So she's good at that. She also does a false reap too, You stay there. She also has a pretty good false reap. So instead of going for the ankle, this time we're gonna go around the knee. Outside leg comes through. Okay. From here, back step into the leg entanglement. And she would do a few inside heel hooks, but I think she feels more comfortable with that Aoki lock, which, it works. False reap, and she also, she's got a Troy bar. So you guys, we had a Troy bar video a while back. I think against Dustin's girlfriend, Brianna St. Marie. They have to go back, yeah. So I think the girl didn't want to engage her knee shield, so she was kind of back like Tony is now, but this arm was low. I don't know if it was a cross or it was just kind of like maybe she was trying to hide, tuck it under or something. So Adele was able to come under, clear the head, pummel in, yeah. Troy bar, classic Troy bar. Watch the Troy bar video, guys. But yeah, she hit that in 80cc absolute division semifinals or something. And that kind of shows like she's good at, so I said she bridges modern jiu-jitsu with classical jiu-jitsu, but she also connects upper body with lower body. So man, very, very good game, When you're submitting the best people in the world, that means you're doing something right. Dominating grips. We talked about, hand fighting. So she's trying to get to those main grips we talked about, the overhook, the tricep grip, the overhook grip, around the back grip. And then she's always working towards her grips. And that's why she's so good. Because she has a very systemized game, but it's like she's always fighting, she's always trying to progress, while the other girls are just kind of just reacting. But it's hard to react and then someone else has a whole system that you're fighting.
Answers for that.
Yeah, she's got an answer and she's got strong finishing positions. I think that makes a big difference because a lot of people don't have a finishing position, or maybe they have one, but they don't have 3 or 4. Adele's got her triangle, she got her arm bar, she got different arm bars, she has the mirror lock. Man, and then she got the leg stuff. She can finish you from anywhere, basically. On the feet, for being a guard player, Adele actually has some good takedown defense. And one thing I noticed, have you stand up, Tony? One thing I noticed, she uses the same grips, guys. Collar tie, overhook grip, around the back. And you know, she'll play around a little bit, but she uses her same gripping that she uses in her guard on her feet. So if you guys play guard, think about that. You know, what grips do you use all the time in your guard, and if they can translate to your takedowns, okay? And you don't have to be perfect at takedowns, but have a little bit of confidence. You know, Adele obviously has a great guard, but when she's on her feet, she's tough as well. So that kind of throws a lot of girls off because she doesn't have a major weakness. There's some girls like Misa, you guys, I sent you the video of her. Really great bolo game, but on their feet, you know, she's not as confident. So if you guys are gonna do more no-gi, ADCC, IBJF, you know, whatever, CGI, you gotta have a little bit of stuff on your feet because, like I said earlier, it's hard to get like closed guard in no-gi. It's hard to play your guard in no-gi. So, you know, you gotta have some backup options, guys, in case whatever you're working on doesn't work. So that's why Adele's so good. She got backups on backups on backups. So that's it, guys. Thank you, Tony.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, Luke. Thank you, Jeff. Get Jeff on the camera. Jeff was here, guys.
Is that a stinky foot?
Yeah. See, the notes help, man.